Facebook. This is Brooke Nichols back with another Facebook Live video session. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another session here on our Facebook Live. If you are interested in the content that we have on our Facebook Live sessions, please do feel free to check out our podcast at the Nature's Premier Podcast, where we talk a lot about different topics and really jump into in-depth episodes. Very educational, very knowledgeable, and definitely check it out. It's an awesome podcast. So today we're going to talk about how small business is the David in the story David and Goliath. So we're not going to talk about the biblical contents of the story David and Goliath. That many of you know that David was a young boy. He was a shepherd's boy who had a very deep devotion to God, and he was the only one that could take David out, or believed he could take David out, just by his motivation and his power with his passion. And he did. He knocked him, he hit him in the head with a rock, and pretty graphic. He wound up cutting his head off, and also crazy stuff happened. But that's very symbolic to a lot of different things that happen in today's society, or just in life in general. And what I like to put it into the context of is small business. So small businesses today really is the David versus Goliath, Goliath being the major corporations in society. So it's very symbolic, and it really does resonate a lot with me when I think of small business versus big business. So if you, or if anyone you know, wants to learn a little bit more why small business plays such a large role in today's society, and why now more than ever we really need to support small businesses, please give this video a share. It really does help get this message out to those people who can use and benefit from this information. It's so important, and one day I may not be able to make videos because Goliath may take over, but in this situation I'm very much like David, so I will fight tooth and nail to get this information out to people, especially for, small businesses' sake. So pretty much what the situation is that you have small, innovative businesses that are trying to offer different products, different services to the marketplace, to parents, to consumers, and to people like that. And then you have big businesses that come in with their giant manpower, 5,000 plus employees, and they try to set the stage and compete with smaller businesses. But what they do is they don't even compete. They literally wipe small businesses out of the map, or off the map rather. Now, small businesses do a lot for offering, society unique services and unique products. So for example, like a diaper service like Nature's Premier, we are the only compostable diaper service in New York. What we're doing is very innovative. A lot of people don't do it. There's another, like 2 other diaper services in the country that offer the service that we're doing. And it's because we're offering a unique service that we really believe in. We're environmentalists here, and we really believe in offering sustainable diapering solutions to families, and it's not just a buzzword, it's something that we're very passionate about. We understand that some families can't get down with cloth, so there has to be an in-between. So we are very much of the David in the big disposable diaper giant world, right? Like you have your big names like Pampers, Loves, and I'm just going to name their names because they're probably never going to see this video, but like Pampers, Loves, Huggies, all these guys, and then you have little old Nature's Premier, Tiny Tots Diaper Service, you have Baby Care, I think it's Nature Baby Care Diaper Service in California, or Baby Care Diaper Service, and we're composting diapers over here. They're over here selling super, super cheap disposable diapers that are harming the environment, causing rashes. The only pro of them is that they're very cheap. And then we're over here trying to have some kind of balance between cloth, compostable, or disposable, and being like some kind of in-between. Now the thing is, and I use diaper services as an example, but this is in a lot of different fields, and I'll touch on that in a bit. But here you have these diaper giants who care about profit. Like, that's their bottom line. Like, if we cared about profit, we would be doing what they were doing. But they care about profit. They care about, just growing the brands, having their brands in hospitals and things like that. Whereas small companies like Nature's Premier, Baby Care, Tiny Tots, and those kind of companies, we're really trying to offer an innovative service. We're really trying to give consumers an option that they don't just have to use, store-bought disposables that have all sorts of different chemicals in it, very controversial chemicals, very controversial for the way they are towards the environment. These diapers don't break down. They stay in our landfills, like we talked about last week in our Facebook Live video about Fatberg in London. Like, these are serious issues. Now, the problem is that these companies are so big and they own the airways, right? Like, you see them on commercials, you see them on billboards, you see them in hospital pamphlets, you see them at gynecologist's office, pediatrician's office, any kind of doctor's office, you see them on bus signs, you know what I mean? Like, you see them in magazines, you see them in big parenting magazines, whereas smaller companies, like our companies, and even other companies, in the country that are cloth diaper services, and again, I'm just using cloth diaper services as a great example because they really are the David in the David and Goliath story. And we don't have multi-millions and millions of dollars of advertising money to put out to these people. So we get questions all the time. I do personally as well from friends that are having babies and, family members. And they're like, oh, is it so much harder to use cloth? And, can you just give us a rundown? Because we can't get in front of them. We can't get in front of them like these major companies can. Now, there's definitely a place for them, but small businesses, especially like a diaper service, offers innovative services, offers, a healthier option for those families who are really concerned about the environment, who are really concerned about what's going on their baby's skin. Now, like we talked about last week, these big companies, they're not doing a due diligence to their consumers by not being objective and transparent in their, diapering, the chemicals that they use in their diapers, like the materials and things like that. Jennifer Levitt, who we had on the podcast a few podcast episodes ago, she is the founder, a very wonderful woman of Bum Genius Diapers. For those of you who don't know, check it out, cottonbabies.com. That is her website, that is her brand, and she is actually petitioning Congress to have these disposable diaper giants disclose what their ingredients are, because if you're going to be offering a super cheap diapering alternative that's going to be passed in front of families, they have the right to know what's in them. And then they can make their decision, whether it be an economical decision or an ethical decision, on if they want to continue to use that. Now, it's all about giving the consumer the education, giving them the tools, giving them the know-how, and giving them, just the transparency of knowing what they're putting on their baby's skin. Now, that's one perfect example of how big diaper companies are shutting out smaller diaper companies. Now, Cloth Diaper Services, we're a very unique service, and that's why small business is awesome in America, because we employ people, we give back to our communities, we are offering a very unique service to our families, to our communities, and I think the Small Business Association of America says something like 97% of people are employed by some kind of small business. Now, small businesses can have up to, I think, 500 people or 500 employees to be considered a small business, and that's what small business does for our economy. It, employs families, it employs people, it offers unique services, offers products that are very hard to find. It's very, very important that we continue to support small businesses, whereas, with big businesses, they're becoming almost monopolies, right? You have these businesses coming in, like Amazon, for example, just bought out Whole Foods, like we all know. It was on the news everywhere. Their prices dropped 30%, which is great because it's like more people can shop there. But what happens is, and Amazon's a whole other beast, you guys. And I'm not gonna shade Amazon because I buy some things from Amazon, but I'm telling you, Amazon's platform, the ethics are questionable, you know what I mean? They come in, they offer everything at as cheap as possible. And that was the founder, Jeff Bezos, that was his, whole concept of starting Amazon. He started out selling books, and he's a very fascinating individual, but his business model is literally meant to kill small businesses. Now, they bought Whole Foods, and all of these other grocers, all their stocks dropped, right? Because they knew, okay, Jeff Bezos is moving into town. He's going to wipe us all off the map, and that's exactly what's happening. They're building Whole Foods to being this giant grocer, this giant natural grocer. Again, which I think is great, But if it's shutting out farms, if it's, you know, not paying people enough money, especially these local farmers, if it's not giving back to the communities, then it's not good. It's very bad, and it's all at the price of the dollar. It's all in honor of the dollar. So it's so important to, you know, not get glossy-eyed over the fact that Amazon bought Whole Foods, and now it's like, oh my God, it's so cheap, now I can shop at Whole Foods, blah, 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 blah. But to still support our local farmers, because what happens is when we stop supporting our local farmers, they can't be in business anymore. They can't support their families, and they're forced to get a job somewhere else, and that whole section of market is taken out. You know, you have a lot of farmers here on Long Island that offer all different types of things, you know, all throughout all seasons. You have, you know, all different types of co-ops. You have farmers that offer all sorts of cool fruits, of vegetables, you know, just farm stands. You know, so many people love coming to Long Island and, you know, going on the East End and going to farm stands. Even in Nassau County is beautiful, and it's something that's really nice. But if we didn't support them, then they can't offer that. And the problem is that these big businesses are naming their price, which means that they tell them, and I'm not saying this is just Amazon, this is definitely other businesses, but big one is Amazon. They'll tell the vendors what they're going to pay them. So they'll be like, oh, like perfect example. We offer a compostable service, and I use the diaper service as an example because we see it, we're going through it, so we know what the issues are. We offer a compostable service, and what part of our service is that you buy the compostable diapers from us, because that helps us to continue to offer the disposable diaper service that we can, because if we can't offer it, there's no one else doing it, or no one else that's crazy enough, or, you know, just has like the crazy environmental, you know, head frame that we do, that's going to do it, or at least right now. So we ask that the diapers are purchased from us. But if you look on Amazon, they literally sell it for less than what we get it like wholesale. So we literally cannot compete with Amazon, and that's what we tell people all the time. So what they'll do is they'll tell these companies, okay, I know your minimum RSP, I was going to say RSVP, I forgot what it's called, MRP, minimum retail price, is $12, but we're going to pay you $9. And these companies are like, oh, we really want to sell on Amazon, so okay, we'll play ball. And they'll literally allow their products to be sold on this website for less than what small business is paying, you know, wholesale, which means it is absolutely impossible for us to offer the same prices. And we get some of the craziest emails. You should price check, you should honor your prices, you know, that Amazon has. And, you know, even with the cloth diaper service, it's like, we can't do that because we don't play by the same rules that Amazon does. And again, there's definitely a place for Amazon. There's the, you know, economy is big enough for all of us, but consumers have to know that this is what small business is facing. Now, can you imagine if small business is employing 97% of the population, at least in the States, a giant percentage? This was a Forbes.com statistic that I read from about maybe like 2 years ago, so it could be a little different now, but still over 90% small businesses employ people. So like, this is literally going right back into our economy. You know, can you imagine if all small businesses got wiped off the map and then we just had 4 major monopolies and you have hundreds of millions of people working for each of them? Like, that would change the whole dynamic of our economy. You know, people love to go to Little China. They love to go to Little Italy. They love to go to the city. They love to go to different parts of the country, you know, like California, Colorado, because they offer different things. Small businesses they're able to offer unique products, unique services, and it's such a cool thing, you know, like, oh, I got this in Boston. Oh, I can't find that in New York, but you should check out this one place in Boston. Like, they can offer those things because small businesses take the risk. They listen to their consumers and they want to offer the best possible product that they can. Big business cannot compare to small business in that regard. Same thing with their employees. You know, there's like a family culture, especially here at Nature's Premier. You know, we have 10 employees and it's literally like that they're our family. Like, we absolutely love our employees. We give them, you know, the best pay that we can. We are just great to our employees and they love working for us. We have a very high retention rate with our service families, with our, you know, even our employees. Like, it's so It's so important to us to offer that family atmosphere because we are a family and we want to offer the best possible service and experience that we can. So that's something that you're not going to get at a big business because they can't offer that. And not for nothing, one customer to a service like Nature's Premier or, you know, an Earth Baby is a big deal. So we want to make you happy. We want to offer the best service that we can. And we want to keep you on as a customer because having you as a customer helps our business and it also helps us to give back to our community. Whereas if you go to like Toys R Us, who is going bankrupt, and that's a whole other thing, and I believe it's going bankrupt for a number of reasons, Amazon being one of them, but you go to them, they don't care about your business, they don't need you, they got 50,000 other families that they can work with, you know what I mean? They don't care. Like, they might help you a little bit, you might get a good customer service rep that's going to try to do the most for you, but as far as their policies go, like, they're not budging. Like, you're just one consumer. Small business, though, comes in, whoop, dives in with their awesome customer service 9.9 times out of 10, and they want to make you happy. They want to do what they can for you. That's fair to them as well, not, you know, having a consumer take advantage and things like that. But that doesn't generally happen, you know, because a consumer just wants, you know, a good experience, and that's something that a small business wants to give you. So these big businesses cannot compete with small businesses in that regard, and that's another reason why it's so important for small businesses to continue to exist, you know, to continue to push these big businesses and to continue to offer innovative products, offer great customer service, you know, just be good to their employees, right? Because if you're good to your employees, if you're good to your families, they're going to be good to you. They're going to give you the referrals that you need, and they're just going to, you know, appreciate your existence. So, you know, it's just like super, super important. So if anybody currently runs a small business, if you have any questions, I am not a business coach. I am literally talking just as point of a diaper service, you know, but if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants to chime in or anything like that, you know, please feel free to leave a comment. I do not, you see my big finger on the screen. I do not know how to read comments. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any comments yet. But if anybody has any questions, any comments, wants to say anything, you know, do let us know. It really helps out, you know, get the video flowing. Another thing is that what people don't realize is that when you support local, when you support small, you're actually funding those dollars that you're spending back into your community. So what's like let's say you order something from, I don't know, like even ordering from like a small business in California or something like that, like that's still supporting small business, it's still supporting the idea of small business, so it's good. But if you're ordering like, let's say like a toy from Toys R Us, as opposed to like a small vendor that's local. Like we have a couple of toy stores by us that are, you know, unfortunately, like they're very small. Some of them are going out of business, but some of them are still strong. They're still there. You know, like when you buy a toy there, I think it's something like $1 or something out of your sale goes towards your local economy. So that's getting literally funneled right back into your economy. Whereas like, what is it, like 10 cents or something like that goes back into the economy when you're buying from a big business. Now, not to say that they don't have their own issues to deal with, because I'm sure, you know, the government is on them in a lot of different ways, but their model is to kill small business. So when you support small businesses, even if you're like, oh, there's an extra $2, then, you know, Amazon or whatever, you're still putting back into your local economy. You're supporting your local economy, so more unique, innovative businesses can arise and, you know, can offer unique services. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta take a sip of water. That's something that's really important. And a lot of people don't realize that. They might be like, well, why would I do this when I could just go here and do this? Because you're supporting your local business, especially if you have kids. If you want to support your school system, if you want to support, you know, new cool things, you know, coming up. Like there's this one, what is it called? Fly Zone or something? I'm totally hacking the name. But there's a really cool, like, arcade that opened up not too long ago. And, like, this is a small business, you know? By promoting local, you're promoting these cool things to come up, especially if you have kids, you know? And you're in, like, cupcake shops and all sorts of different cool things. Like, can you imagine if no small businesses exist? You know how plain our streets would look? Like, go down Main Street, you see, what, 2 stores? You know, a Walgreens and what, like a ShopRite? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't see these other cool little indie shops, you know what I mean? Like, and another thing is too, you know, like I said, with small businesses offering, unique products, unique services. Like, you don't see big business doing that, even though they should be doing that. Like, when we talked about the diaper service, like, they should be. Those big giant companies should be composting. They should be offering alternatives. They should be doing that if they really cared about, their consumers, if they really cared about the babies that they were diapering. They should be doing that, but they're not going to do that, because it's really all about the bottom line. That's really what it is. There's no mission statement about the environment. There's no mission statement about the chemical exposure. There's no mission statement about offering healthier alternatives. They don't have that. And that's okay if that's what they want to do, but move to the side so more, eco-minded businesses that do have the best interests of their consumers in mind can come through. And that's where being David in the business of David and Goliath, or, the giant issue of small business versus big business, comes in handy. You have small businesses that believe in what they're doing, and that's why we rely on your support. Like, here, we're big environmentalists. We love babies. Not to say if you don't use, if you support them, you don't. But I'm just saying, like, to offer, like, a niche, to offer a very specific type of holistic diapering alternative, you have to have passion for it, because you don't walk into this business and just make like millions and millions of dollars. You know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about offering something to your community, and people love that. People love having unique services that they can use for their children, that they can promote, to their friends and family, and that they can be proud of. Something that, yeah, my town has that. Oh yeah, where I live, they offer this, or they have a organic food, baby food delivery service. Yeah, I use that. Yeah, they were great. They were fantastic. They sent me a $10 coupon. They remembered my baby's birthday. You know what I mean? Like, this is the small touches that big businesses cannot do. So as long as small businesses have a focus, in their mind, and they're determined and they're motivated, Goliath will never win. You know what I mean? Like, they can't. So again, they have their place, just like small business has their place. But what I hate is that when big business tries to come in on small business and take out a very genuine consumer experience, a consumer service, a service that has a very important product. Like, we hear all the time of businesses starting up great idea and then they shot right back down. And that's the ebb and flow of things. That's small business. It's a big beast. It's definitely an undertaking. But when you have a goal in mind, when you really want to offer, something seriously, passionate, real, something that's going to help the environment, something that's going to help babies, or that's even going to help, like, even if you're a yoga instructor. I have a very good friend of mine named Melissa, and she is killing it right now in her yoga business. But she's going against a lot of other, like, more mainstream yogis that aren't true to, like, the actual, yoga art. Now, I'm so ignorant with this. Like, I don't know too much about it, but from what I see, she's doing very well. She's very passionate. She knows, every pose, everything. Oh, I have a headache. Oh, do this pose. Or, oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, do this pose. You know what I mean? Like, do a sun salutation pose, or a cat pose, or cow pose, or something like that. Like, she's very, 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 she's very good. So shout out to Melissa. She is fantastic. She is, I forgot her business name. It used to be Long Island Heart Chakra Yoga or something. I forgot. But I'll write it in here, and I'll tag her, and she'll make fun of me for hacking the name. But yeah, that's a small business. Shout out to the small business, and we have to be there for each other. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not in my industry, even if you're my competition, I'm there for you. I'm promoting you. You know what I mean? Like, we have to promote the idea of small businesses. And there's a whole other sect of women in small business. That's a whole other topic. But small businesses in general promote the idea. Like, small businesses feed off of each other. We focus on like the stupid things in small business too. Like, you see a lot of like people like trying to like compete with prices and try to like fight each other and stuff over here. But you got these giant like Goliath dudes over here, like, just making it harder and harder and harder for you to even exist. So while you're fighting in the midst of each other, you're forgetting this giant obstacle that everyone should be like, nah, I'm not gonna fight with you right now. I'm gonna go over here. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not to throw shade at big business, because they are needed. Just like Amazon's needed. Hey, like I said, I ordered headphones actually the other day, excuse me, from Amazon. There's some things that, and they have a lot of like small businesses on Amazon. So you use it right, it's great. But when you're using a service, or you're using another type of, you're trying to buy like a small product or something like that, and then you go to Amazon, like, don't yell at the vendor for not selling the same price as Amazon, because Amazon doesn't play by the rules. Amazon makes the rules. They have their own set of rules. So just don't compare, because we get that, like I said, we get that a lot, and our customers just don't understand. Like, I mean, most of them understand, but sometimes they don't. And it's like, okay, well, when Amazon starts composting, then we'll just throw it all to the wayside and just do cloth, because that would be amazing. Like, if they offered that, that would be killer, and that would be amazing for the environment. But don't hold your breath. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. You know, just that small business. Talk about some of the pros of it, you know, like the fact that we offer stellar customer service, we give back to the economy, we offer unique services and products and experiences that you're just not going to get at a big business. You're just not going to get it. And it's individualized services as well, just to segue on that, because, you know, like we'll remember your baby's birthday. We'll talk to you. We'll be like, hey, what's going on, Adrienne? Like, we'll actually have conversations. We can pick up conversations where we left off. Like, this is the beauty of a small business. And we give back to the community, whether you're in the yoga industry, you're in the diaper industry, you're in the cupcake industry. I don't know why I keep saying cupcakes. I have no idea. I'm such a fatty. But cupcake industry, whether you're in the you know, like anything, like baby food industry, that's a big one that's coming up, and we definitely support that. You know, organic baby food. You know, it's just like we offer these things to our families, to our consumers, and if we didn't get the support, then we couldn't offer it. That's just simple as that. And then you wouldn't have a diverse, you know, product line. You wouldn't be able to really like have any options. It's really just like within 4 categories. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if like there were no diaper services? Because diaper services, shout out again, are growing because people want, you know, especially new parents, like they want an option, you know, and sometimes we're put into a position where we can't do what we want to do, right? Like whether it be financially, but if you know about this stuff and you tell your friend and you just promote it, that helps small businesses so much. And like I've said before, even giving a like on Facebook, as corny as it sounds, that gives a shout out to a small business. Like, hey, I'm not in the position, or I just rather not like financially support you guys, but hey, here's a like because that's free and that was a funny, you know, article you posted, or thank you for doing what you're doing. Like small shout outs, every small business appreciates that. I know we appreciate that. We're like, hey, thank you. We comment on everything. We always like comments, as long as they're, you know, nice and appropriate, not mean, you know, because we get those too. But yeah, so that's pretty much the thing. So, you know, small business is certainly the David and Goliath story. If you stay true to your passion, stay true to your, you know, drive, your motivation, your goal, you're going to sling that at that big company, and they're either going to back off or they're going to die completely. The perfect example, and you know, I know a lot about these things, and I don't have my notes right now, and I like to speak to you guys organically because it just, sometimes it's received a lot better than reading it like a Dateline, you know, like article, like, oh, and in today's news, you know, like sometimes it's just nice speaking more organically. But perfect example, and I'll leave off with this, is, what's their names? Netflix with Blockbuster. Blockbuster laughed at Netflix when they came to them in a board meeting and said, listen, you can buy us out for $800,000, but we're taking the game over if you don't. And Blockbuster was like, we'll do our own streaming thing, whatever. What was it? 2 years later, they're sitting at the same, you know, sitting at the same boardroom, and Netflix is just killed Blockbuster, just totally killed Blockbuster. They had a drive to make streaming easier. They wanted to create a unique user experience. Now, there are some things with Netflix as well, but Netflix started as a small business, so big shout out to Netflix. Blockbuster was the Goliath, and Netflix was the David. Now, I do miss going to Blockbusters and things like that, but I jam out to Netflix often, so thank you, Netflix, for coming through. But, and you hate to see a business fail. You know, that's not what this whole video is about. It's about promoting small business. You don't want to see a business fail. You know what I mean? Like, unless they have poor ethics as a company, like, that's not the goal. That's not what we're talking about here. But that's just an example. So if you have a goal in mind, if you have a dream, don't you ever give up. Don't you ever give up on your dream. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how crazy it may seem, because Netflix is worth billions, and they, you know, Blockbuster laughed at them, and now there's no Blockbusters anywhere. I think they have one on Long Island. I think it's for like nostalgia purposes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. I haven't even seen one. I don't know if you guys remember Hollywood Video, like came and go, you know, like came and went. But it's just about like banding together with small businesses, promoting small businesses when you can, knowing the importance of small businesses, and putting your money back into the economy, because that's what we do. And aside from that, promoting small business, you know, and I'm only speaking here specifically in America because I don't know too much about the economy in other countries, as ignorant as that sounds. So I don't want to say like the world and all this other stuff because I really only know like the statistics here in the States. But I'm sure it's similar in other countries, like in Canada. I'm sure it's similar in Europe. Like I'm sure they all have their own small business types of situations. But, you know, like when you support small business, you are literally supporting the American dream. You're supporting families. You're supporting people who believe in something, who believe in a mission. You're supporting, you know, people who are passionate to change the world in some way. And again, it doesn't matter what industry you are in. They want to make a change, so they had the courage to start their own business and make that change. Again, regardless of what industry you are in. So you are literally supporting the American dream, you're supporting families, and it's just a great thing. So always remember to, you know, stick by your dreams and, you know, stick by what you believe in, because you may be, you know, again, I said David and Goliath like 10 times, but it's true. You know, always think of David and Goliath. When you think that there's too big of a giant, just remember one stone can take him out. And don't ever forget that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Facebook Live video session. My name is Brooke Nichols with Nature's Premier. We are a cloth and compostable diaper service, providing families throughout Long Island and New York City with a healthier way to diaper their babies. Should you have any questions at all about the services that we provide, please do feel free to shoot us a message and we'll be happy to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for supporting small businesses and supporting Nature's Premier. And until next week, we hope you guys have a wonderful, stress-free week ahead. Take care, friends.